Super Tuesday 2016 is in the history books, and it was a huge night for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. We've got a ton to talk about, including the news that Ben Carson won't be attending tomorrow night's GOP debate, even though he hasn't yet dropped out of the race. That surprising announcement coming up shortly. But we begin with Trump's triumphant Tuesday, a sweep of 7 out of 11 Republican races. His delegate total now stands at 319. with 4 others trailing far behind. Here was the frontrunner after his multiple victories.
I'm so honored by this evening. If you would have told me on June 16th, when I was with my wife, Melania, and we came down the escalator in Trump Tower, and it looked literally, well, a little bit like this. You have a lot of cameras here tonight. It looked literally like the Academy Awards. I'd never saw so many cameras in my life. And it takes courage to run. I'll tell you what, it takes a lot of courage to run for president. I've never done this before. I've been a job producer. I've done a lot of things, but this is something I've never done. But I felt we had to do it.
Last night, Trump defined himself as a uniter and vowed he will win in November if his party unites.
We are going to be a much finer party, we're going to be a unified party. I mean, to be honest with you, and we are going to be a much bigger party, and you can see that happening. We're going to be a much bigger party. Our party is expanding, and all you have to do is take a look at the primary states where I've won, and just look where we've gone from X number to a much larger number. That hasn't happened to the Republican Party in many, many decades.
So Donald Trump saying that he is adding numbers to the party by gaining interest and momentum, people getting involved and joining the GOP. Apparently we have an ombudsman at the table
yes.
that has an issue.
I need to correct something in the intro written not by you, Kimberly, because you would never make this mistake.
Ever.
Obviously a producer wrote a sweep of 7 out of 11. How do you sweep 7 out of... Don't you have to sweep everything? It's like they swept the series. You don't sweep 7 out of 11, you morons.
But you do sweep a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that is true. But it's like they gave lifts to LeBron James. You know, Trump did good. You don't have to make it better. Also,
take it easy. Don't mention lifts.
I know.
Lifts to LeBron.
Those in glass houses.
I could have said give Dolly Parton a Wonder Bra, but I chose lifts to LeBron James.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yes, but the other thing,
yeah.
One other thing.
Leave Dana and I out of this.
Delegates, you got 319. Cruz got 226. That's not trailing far behind. That's 93. That's my quibble. Proceed with a fantastic opening.
Can I tease?
Thank you, Mr. Ombudsman.
Can I tease the B block, because I'm going to take the numbers and we're going to go through the numbers line by line, because everyone seems to want to think, go at me because I've been saying this is a Trump nomination to lose. In the B block, I'm going to break it down by numbers.
You know that is my tease, right?
I know. But what he did there after the 7 of the 11, he came out and it was a press conference. He took questions. It wasn't a rally. It wasn't a campaign event. It was very different. He noticed the flags behind. It's almost like he was saying, okay, Hillary pivoted to a general election posture, and it seems like he may be trying to do the same. I think what's important, though, is that what we found out after last night is the turnouts in these states have been phenomenal. They broke records in South Carolina. They broke records in Nevada. They broke records in New Hampshire. They're doing exceedingly higher than prior year's average turnout. And so the numbers, I would hope, would be more indicative of what the voting population is looking for, because there's a bigger turnout.
Do you believe that there's a nexus between that, the voter turnout that we're seeing now that is definitely, increased, and then the general election, because that was part of the problem with Mitt Romney?
Well, and that is the speculation of if people who normally didn't vote for a party who would come out when they wanted to, became engaged. But the interesting thing is the breakdown. A lot of people are saying, Trump is about the older white party or the white party. It's not. It's falling almost along the same demographic lines as he had been doing prior to that. In other words, it's not like the voter turnout's coming. It's big and the additional people are all white. That's not the case.
What? Are you kidding me?
No.
You must be joking. Look at the numbers sometimes. It's like 90-something% of all the voters are white.
No, but my point was the additional people break down at the same rate as the people who were voting for him prior to that.
I'm a little confused, but I certainly think that it's overwhelming that the people voting in these Republican primaries are white. It's not even close.
All right, Dana Perino looking lovely in red.
Oh, I thank you very much. I guess I got a few thoughts here. So I think Hillary Clinton making that pivot to the general election, it's easier for her to do because Democrats, even though there's going to be some consternation about that the Bernie Sanders voters are not enthusiastic about her, the Democrats have shown in the past they consolidate and they will rally around her. And remember, the Democrats tend to treat the general election like the Olympics. It's every 4 years, and they can't wait, and there's pent-up demand. In the midterm elections, they don't really show up as much, which is one of the reasons that Republicans have done so well and were able to take back both the House and the Senate and the governorships and I think 69 of 99 state legislatures. So Republicans have done well in off years and in state elections. They do not do well in national presidential elections. John McCain got roughly 60 million votes in 2008. Mitt Romney got about 61 million. Obama secured 70 million of those same votes. So in this election, just numbers-wise, Republicans have to do a lot better than they did in 2012, and the Democrats have to do a little bit worse. So that's a lot of hope.
But that's actually what's happening, right?
Well,
the Republican turnout is somewhere around 40% higher than 2012, and Democrat turnout is down. For
the Republican Party, I hope that is true. But I also remember being here about a month before the election in 2012 and believing the polls and that some people said, not everybody, including Fox News poll, Dana Blanton got it right here, saying that Romney couldn't win. But we were all like, no, Romney can win. Of course Romney's going to win. Like, nobody's going to vote for Obama again, right? And then all the Republicans sitting there that night going, oh my God, I got to go home and take an Ambien because we just lost.
Because everybody loved Romney.
You know what's interesting is I can't believe.
Hold it. Yeah, go.
What? You want to do something?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
I'm giving you the floor. I'm asking Greg to hold it so we can go, please.
Oh. I was going to say, I was amazed that Cruz was at the Redneck Country Club. I found that so
awesome.
I was like, wow. Who would think to name your club the Redneck Country Club? Anyway.
It's almost as offensive as the Redskins.
It could be. And you know, I don't even call them that. But I don't say
redneck anymore.
Is that right? No. I'm glad you've given up. That shows a heightened level of enlightenment.
This is wasting my time right
now.
But
I was struck that, you know what, both Cruz and Rubio, in their comments last night, said Trump will be a disaster for the Republican Party.
They've been
and they say this with a passion that they've got to stop him. And I think they're trying to enlist the Republican establishment, which today says they're rallying. You see all these rich Republicans saying we're going to put more money now into stopping Trump. The question is, can they stop him in the course of this upcoming contest, March 15th and going forward?
Now they want to do that.
Or if it's smart,
now they want to do that.
Or it's too late.
Just
on March
woke up from the
2nd, after Super Tuesday happens and Trump takes sweeps 7 of 11 states.
I love 7-11.
It's like this one. It's like the establishment is so ticked off. Mitt Romney comes out from the Bush.
He says he's going to give a speech tomorrow.
Ryan, think about this for a second. Now they want to do it. It's like your wife has left you. She's gone. She's already married the personal trainer. They have 2 kids, and now you're going to start to attack the personal trainer.
Those are my metaphors. You are not allowed to do those metaphors. No, that was good. It was good.
It was very good. It was very good.
Sounds true if the trainer is not Frank.
It's a little late, but don't forget these
guys, I got to clean this table. It's getting sloppy, and I don't like it.
Just the point that Ben Carson is dropping out of the debate, that raises the question, how could you tell?
Well, also raises the question: where do people who support him go? Do they go to Cruz as an evangelical?
Yeah.
No. He was at 8%. He's 8%.
He had 1%.
Also, Ted Cruz.
Last night,
Ted Cruz won Alaska.
This
is important.
Not of the votes.
Ted Cruz won Alaska. That just shows you how important a Sarah Palin endorsement is.
Yeah, it'll make you.
Alrighty then, let's talk about the party of one. Hillary Clinton took some shots at Trump during her victory speech last night, mocking his campaign slogan, among other things, and the Donald certainly knows how to hit right back.
We're going to make America great again, folks. We're going to make it great again. And, I watched Hillary's speech, and she's talking about wages have been poor, and everything's doing badly, but we're going to make it. She's been there for so long. I mean, if she hasn't straightened it out by now, she's not going to straighten it out in the next 4 years. It's just going to become worse and worse. She wants to make America whole again, and I'm trying to figure out what is that all about. Make America great again is going to be much better than making America whole again.
All right, so a little bit of back and forth, getting a little flavor for the general election. Bowling, what do you think? Was that
that's what it felt
almost like a kinder, gentler tone?
Yeah. I'm not sure he wears that well, though. I was watching him like, okay, where's the good stuff? Where's the upbeat stuff? I'm winning. I'm going to be your nominee.
Right. He wanted to make a joke. but he stopped. Let's
Right, on
face
the
it.
whole thing.
He wanted to make a joke because I could see. I've had that feeling. I'm going, here it comes.
You do it every day.
I know.
Joke.
Yes.
They usually say it.
And then I end up on the
But
second
he
floor.
showed restraint.
Yes.
Then we end up
that was
with you.
restraint.
That would show you that's the new Donald.
You liked it?
I actually, what I liked as a PR nerd was looking at how the three frontrunners handled their speeches last night. They were very distinct, different ways to handle it. I thought that Cruz had a very good speech. He had a big crowd there, and it was written exactly to give him the boos when he wanted them and the applause when he wanted them. The timing of it was really good. I thought he sounded really good. So
Get a room.
that speech was great. Come on. I thought that the Donald Trump, the tone that a lot of people have loved for 8 months that I didn't love, I was like, okay, I could listen to that maybe a little bit more. And I also feel like the Republicans have made a mistake over the years on over-promising on things they could never deliver. And I don't mean on big tax reform or things like that. I am talking about things like that you could get the Obamacare repealed by shutting down the government. And there were people who cheerleaded that from the sides because it was great for ratings. It was really fun to talk about. When it was never going to be possible, we all knew that President Obama was never going to sign a bill to repeal Obamacare.
Well, gosh, I wouldn't have known
and
by
now,
listening.
if I could just finish this thought for a second. I know you need to move on, but if I could just say, so when it could be that somebody like Donald Trump comes along and all of a sudden compromise is not the dirty word that was slapped on rhinos for all this time because they were like, well, wait, if we want to get a tax reform deal, maybe we need to actually get to the middle of it.
Can I just reiterate that metaphor? Now they want to talk about compromise. That is the issue right there.
No, I don't think. Who's talking about compromise?
Well, it's the lack
I'm saying that Donald Trump is talking about compromise and that's refreshing.
Well,
and it would be good for the Republican Party instead of trying to shut down the government over Planned Parenthood, which has a 75% approval rating.
The reason for the rise in Donald Trump is because the people, the anger that's there is they feel that the establishment class has left them, has made a lot of promises like on Obamacare.
Right, but who was cheering on
spending.
Okay, but who was cheering on ideas like you can shut down the government and you can repeal Obamacare, which we knew was never going to happen. That kind of thing, well, that's my point, which is that is refreshing, and I think those two are two different things.
I'm agreeing with you that it is refreshing, and it is a good thing.
So now, my
point is the establishment class
well, it's good to know that that's the case now.
This is not a bad idea, then maybe we should be.
But it's good to know that that's the case now, because if you were against the shutting down the government plan before, you were called all sorts of names.
Well, let me just say that what strikes me, we were talking earlier about establishment backlash. I'm still interested in what Rubio and Cruz had to say about the big Trump night, which is that it'll be a disaster in the general election, or I think it was Cruz who pointed out like 2/3 of Republican voters who voted last night did not vote for Trump.
I know. That's coming up next. Remember the big highlight at the top of the election packet? All right.